Let's turn our attention to the defensive line. So a little bit of a surprising move yesterday when they released Ogbo Okoronkwo. Nathan Zegura, analyst, Browns radio network, talking about why he thinks they let Okoronkwo go.
I think it's a combination of Tryon Shoyinka came in. He looked good. They're waiting to get after June 1st for Ogbo. This gives them an opportunity to sign with another team as well. And, you can always go back to what do a lot of times these things are, is that it feels like the Browns think that in the guys they signed and the rookies that they have they like that defensive end room. I can tell you that very much. And Ogbo was a great dude when he was here. I really enjoyed interviewing him whenever we got the opportunity to do that. And I thought that he played well, especially his first year here. He had 12 tackles for loss, which was a career high. But you look at the salary ramifications when he signed that 3-year, $19 million deal. Their Browns are going to save because of when they did this over the next 2 seasons. And the way that they kind of have done their contracts is they throw on these void years that allows kind of the salaries to be spaced out. But because they're doing that, and because they did do that with him, it's going to save them over the next couple of years about $8 million. So I think that's why the move was made, more so than necessarily his performance, and that they felt like they had guys coming in that would be able to replace that performance.
Gee, but $8 million, he didn't do enough to justify keeping him. What do you think of the defensive line room? I'm intrigued by it. They're young. If you don't pay attention and didn't watch some really bad football from the Browns last year, you might not know Isaiah McGuire. You might not know Alex Wright before he got hurt. How good can this defensive line be, do you think?
I think it's all going to – their defensive line is going to come down to 2 people, Mason Graham and Mike Hall Jr. And I've been saying it. Listen, I know they got some free agents that they brought in, Lee Collins they brought in, and they got some guys in there still that they think that they like a little bit. I think Briggs is still here. But look, those 2 guys are your first two draft choices in last year's draft. And Mike Hall Jr., who was a second-round pick, some felt that he could have been a first-round type talent if he came back another year. Quick, twitchy guy, shows some flashes, gets off the ball quick from Ohio State. And then Mason Graham, you traded the pick, you traded and you moved and you moved on, and you didn't take Travis Hunter, 2-way player. We talked about this a lot, but Mason Graham, if you're going to be the 5th pick, you got to be dominant. Day one, rep one, those 2 guys should be starting. And this is, for me, the movement that I'm looking forward to is the youth movement. I need to figure out what's going on. If the Cleveland Browns are going to take those guys highly, I need them to be starting day one. I like JTS over at the other end. He's a guy that was a first-round pick out of Washington. I think they played him out of position a little bit too much in Tampa Bay. Todd Bowles runs like this weird 3-4 type thing. They had him dropping in the coverage. That's not his game. I want to see him get his hand in the dirt and excel at just moving forward and causing pressure. Isaiah McGuire, PFF loves him. They love him, how he can stop the run. I think he was rated the 3rd-rated defensive end or defensive lineman, defensive end in terms of stopping a run. And then Alex Wright was trending in the right direction. Unfortunately, he got injured the first couple games of the season last year. So he has a lot of upside. I think they got some rotation guys, and obviously you got Myles Garrett. So look, I would have moved on from Ogbo. I think he showed some things that first year, but then again, the defense was overall dominant that first year. You had JOK, you had Myles Garrett. It was a special type defense that year. Last year, you see the injuries, you see the production tail off a little bit. PFF has them ranked, I believe, the 7th best defensive line. I was like, I don't know if I would put them at 7. I think they're at 7 strictly because of Myles Garrett. But I do think they have a lot of upside, and it could be an exciting part of the team where it could be a potential strength by far because they've invested a lot of resources in that. Myles Garrett costs a lot of money. You've spent a lot of draft picks there, and you've been using a lot of money in free agency to try to shore up the defensive line. So it's an area that I think could be a bright spot for the Browns this year, though.